Hi guys, Danielle with Pearly Shell Pirates here, and today we are doing a woven wall hanging. Um, I didn't grab my sample down to show you, so we're just going to go for it. All right. So I'm putting together kits today here in the shop, and your kit will be somewhat similar to this. Ooh, let's find you again. There we go. And I have wool, and we're going to use a cotton for our warp. So you start out, you have your embroidery hoop, okay? And you take the inside of your embroidery hoop out, and you take your handy dandy Sharpie and your handy dandy little tape measure, which I put mine up. Boy, I'm just being way too efficient here. I just put mine up, and I am backwards. I'm losing myself here in the camera. There we go. And I mark little dots every inch. Somebody coming into the shop, so masking up. All right, I mark every inch on my hoop here. So then I take my cotton warp thread and I unravel it, and I am going to make a little tiny slip knot loop at the end here. Okay, so I have my little slip knot loop, and I'm going to open it up. Okay, and I am going to go from one point to another point on my hoop directly across from each other. That will take a little finagling. Ooh, we're going to get close as can be. There we go. Is that across? That one's not across. Maybe this one's straight across. Very close. Okay, then I'm going to pull this knot down to the middle, and then I am going to start going around from point to point around my circle. So from point to point, all the way around. Ooh. Just see this. This is hard to see. Hold. So I keep going around and around and around. So we just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we get up here to this. Now I just want to take a moment and I want to count all the way around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That is a problem with 26 little things, because 26 will not give me the ability to weave evenly around this. I need to have an odd number. So I'm going to make sure that I am right on this. So I'm going to mark my little thread so I know, and I'll count again. Okay? Because this is like the whole process here. All right, so I can count my marked spot and then around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, I did luck out. It is just 25. See? I counted one twice. So let's make sure we always mark. See? All right, so then I take my thread and I'm going to go just ahead and break it because my scissors are over on the counter. So you kind of have a mess here, and that's okay. But you're going to come in here and you're going to go through the middle, roughly. Find a middle spot, wherever my thread is, holding all my things tight. And then I am going to put it in my outer ring and make sure everything's all lined up. And then I am going to tighten it up.
Okay, do you know what size?
Yes, I do. I've got Cheryl's.
I'm going to tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up.
And she asked
So it's nice and snug.
2 sets. We'll tell you.
There we go. So then I can just start.
Point needle size 2.75 millimeter, size 2.
And I am just going to start weaving around. And I am going to go through my
Packages, 5 minutes.
both strings.
I do not. I have a 1.5 or a 2.5.
No, she went to 2.
She was very specific.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to pick my next one. And it's easy just to look up at the top because it kind of is a mess down at the bottom. So I'm just going to go back and forth, paying attention to my tops.
I do not have the tips in right now. Okay. Need to order them in. They're on. Everything's been on back order for the past year. It's like then I get a whole bunch and then I get nothing.
Shoop.
I get a whole bunch.
And then back. So it's literally just back and forth, and pulling it down towards the middle. And this will build you a nice tight middle to your art project. Back and forth through both sides.
Bright orange. Do you want any other colors with it or?
Bright orange.
Brightest orange.
There could be other colors with it. How about this?
Well, yeah. I was gonna say that's not soft.
That's not soft.
Let's see. Over here, it did not saw out. I just added a whole bunch of orange. A whole bunch that.
Oh, let's see this.
Okay, just keep going and it will get perfectly centered here in just a moment. It's amazing how quickly I am making a wall hanging, Shelly, and I'm going back and forth and just weaving up and pulling it tight, and then it starts to take shape here in just a second.
I like that. And I don't know if she would consider that.
What does Velda say?
I think she would like that color.
So as I go back and forth, it slowly starts to come together. And this is your hardest row. Because once we get this, and we just keep going in circles, and next thing you know, it is like you will have a circle in the middle. You'll have this little tail. Your little tail will hang out to the back, and you can weave it in, or you can just snip it off, because once everything's all woven together, it is very stable. And see how much cleaner that looks in the middle? It's a nice tight circle. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth. A little ways. Fingers in the way. All right, so now that I have my middle done, okay, so I have my middle done, and it actually has started to take shape, and it's truly a middle section versus being kind of a crazy spoke thing going on. I can choose to continue and have a nice peachy cream center, or I can change into another yarn. In this kit, I have some rovings and some yarns here, both of which are really fun to weave with. So I will show you different techniques on those. Just a second, just trying to get around. I always figure the tightener is my top, is how I think of the piece.
April,
Yeah.
look at this with Cheryl.
I'm right here.
All right.
They are
All right.
Those are lovely.
Can you hand me the scissors?
I kinda like this because
Thank you.
it's her size.
It was like unprepared. Left my scissors way on the other side of the room. I'm just going to snip this off because the side I'm working on is going to be my back. And it's going to be up against my wall, so it doesn't matter that I have strings hanging out of it on this side. So I'm going to take my first yarn, and I think I'm going to do teal first. I'll use pops of that really cool mustard later. So I'm going to take it, and I'll leave my tail out here. And I'm going to go around a few times with it to build my center. So I'm going to leave my tail, and I'm going to, I made it shorter. I'm just going to tuck it back and forth through my strings, my warp threads. How many rows would I do for the middle? 1, 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. Sometimes I go like halfway out. It really depends on how you want your art piece to look. If you want a really nice tight basket weave kind of look to the middle, or if you're going to go right into a fun pattern for the middle, you can do all kinds of things with that. Make my tail a little longer. So yeah, you definitely can play with those things. I'm just going to go back and forth on each one. And then I'll play with a couple of different techniques here. Different stitches to play with. Once I make my first round, I'm going to play with, I really like, because it covers a lot of ground and it shows off a lot of color early on, is I like to do, oh my gosh, I want to call it like a skip stitch. I go every 2 instead of every 1. It gives you a fun kind of swirly look. So as I come back here, there we go. It's starting to come together a little better for me. So if I come and I skip 2, back out 1, I could skip 2 also. Skip 2. Then, so I came out right here. I'm not going to go back in here. I'm going to go in here. So it's like a skip 1 space kind of thing.
Yeah, she said. We do Facebook Live videos.
So then we,
And fun stuff. So
I'm just going to do this around a few rows to give me a different technique.
art weaving. Oh, okay. Frame weaving is probably really good technique.
Oh, that was 3. But you could do that if that is what you really enjoyed. So going through, I'm going to keep going for a couple of rows like this it shows off a little bit more of the blue.
Right?
Gives you a longer run of the blue.
Where are you ladies all from?
Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, very fun.
So just going back and forth. And like I said, this is my slowest part of doing these weavings is right here in the middle.
Okay.
Getting a fun feel for where I want to go with it. And this, I must have skipped an extra one there. Yes, I did. I'm like, that's not coming out right. I messed it up. There we go.
2.
Awesome.
Which one are you getting?
There we go.
Which one am I getting? The one for Cheryl?
Velda was
Not used to talking to somebody while I do this, so it's a little harder than
Thank you.
on video. So, as you can start to see, when you go through and you do that skip a space,
Beautifully. I do not have a sample in here yet, but it is really amazing. I do have a crocheted sample that I can show you.
Okay.
That gives you an idea. The fabric, so I got the Sharon in, and people are like, the instantaneous favorite. And everyone was like, really, the singles? But look at how this is a tight.
there we go.
And it doesn't fill, and it's very nice. Okay. It's really fun.
So I'm just going to keep going.
I love
Not
dyeing
seeing
it.
it. Got to turn it so
We're
you
just
guys
now
can
on
see
our-
it.
Both spinners, so we're just now getting, so we're really working on looking up samples, so we'll have them by off of all of the indie dyed stuff.
Okay, let's come up real close here.
It was I just started really
Let me go
dyeing
one more
during the
section.
shutdown. I had done a little bit, but not.
All right.
I said, like,
See how it starts to do this wave pattern? It's really cool.
no, this is 100%.
It's what?
100%
Merino?
merino.
It waves over all of these other threads.
Do you have something for soft that's not nylon?
I do. Okay. So these.
So continue to go around one more row like this, and then I will
There's a blue face luster. Hello. Which does not have the nylon, but has a lot stronger.
keep going, and then I am going to show you how to do a couple other fun things. Oh, this is looking much better with one more row.
I do shorter color blocks, but because they're all one of a kind,
You don't
I-
know how.
I know the dyeing technique that makes them knit up, but I
So,
don't knit up one of
Okay.
the color.
Yes.
Of course not.
Right? But that one should knit up fairly short color blocks, kind of like that hat.
Okay.
okay.
And
These are
fingering?
alpaca
See how pretty that is?
Okay.
It is really pretty. Okay, so, woo. Sorry, make you guys all dizzy. I am going to leave my little ball of yarn. I'm going to kind of take it. I'll show you how I tie it off. Wrap it up so that it's not necessarily in my way. I wrap it around my hand, all the way down to my loom hoop, and then I wrap it around itself, kind of. Its little end here, and then I wrap it around the narrow way to kind of tuck it all up so it's out of the way, because I'm going to come back to this color and use it here in a little bit. Now I'm going to take something really kind of fun. I have some orange here, orange roving. I'm going to show you a little fun technique here. I'm going to tuck it the end, back it in my behind the piece here. I get where I am. You guys can see in camera. Here we go. I'm going to tuck it back here. I'm going to take my roving, and I'm going to kind of wad it up a little bit.
Did you say there's nylon in it?
And I am going to go through,
She wants no nylon?
No nylon.
Okay,
Did
so
she say that?
and then I am going to hold my end,
No any nylon.
and I am going to go around that same post again, right there and here, and I'm going to leave it kind of puffy, kind of. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to go all the way around it again. Come on. All the way around it again, like that. I'm going to tuck it down there. And I'm going to keep doing that on these posts, and it completely covers it. And I can leave them a little puffy. I don't have to pull them completely tight. See, they're a little puffy right there. So then I'm going to go on to the next one and do the same thing, just a little puffy. And one more. Then I am going to kind of tap it. Then I'm going to go around the one I was just on. Oh, pulled it a little tighter than I like. I'm going to go back again. And then I am going to go the opposite direction around the post that I was just on before. And I am going to work backwards like a short row in knitting. I'm going to go backwards, still kind of keeping them puffy. I'm going to go backwards from the way I was going before. One more here. Snug it up a little bit, and I like to do one more past it, like that. Pull it down, pull everything tight. And look at this, you end up with like a little flower. So that's a fun little technique to do a little flower. Then I can pick up my yarn that I was weaving with before, and I can tuck it in. I can weave right up around it. And at any point in your weaving, because this is your art, you can change direction. You can make bobbles. You don't have to fill the whole thing. You can leave spaces open. And this is your art, not my art. So
makes it a lot of fun.
you can use the colors that speak to you, the spaces that speak to you. Trying to see what I have going on here. I went too many spaces. You know you've gone too many spaces when your yarn lines up right on top of where you were before. So you can then go back, and you can always unweave. And always unweave something that doesn't make you happy. Because there's a lot of times that I will practice making something and I don't enjoy the outcome and the way it looks, because in my head it looked different. That happens a fair amount. But I can come up here. See, now I'm on top of my orange, and I can go, okay, I just want to come right up to right here. Okay, and now I want to change my pattern. Maybe I want to go back and forth, directly back and forth, to just tuck that in nice and tight. And I want to change my pattern just because I can, like so. And I am going to continue playing with textures and patterns until I finish my project And that is the point in which I feel it's finished. Whether that is like a couple more little things here and maybe some out here on the outside, or I fill it up completely, or I leave negative space. Whatever makes my heart happy is when my project is finished. So I hope you guys have fun making your very own woven wall art. And I look forward to seeing all of the creations that you've made. You have a fantastic day, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.